Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. If you're new around here, my name is Lindsay and I am a full-time crochet designer now. I thought I would do a little bit of a series of videos where I show you a little bit more about the creative work I do, kind of behind the scenes vlog style. So today I am going to be showing you how I use one hour photo shoot a month to create a month's worth of content, giving you a little bit of a peek behind the scenes and yeah, just showing you how I do it. Now, I do use a photographer who comes and does an hour shoot with me each month, but before I could afford to do that, I used to do the photos myself. So no matter what stage you are in your sort of creative business or side hustle, or if you just want a little bit more of a behind the scenes look at what I do with my creative business, then I do think there'll be some takeaways and some helpful bits and bobs for everybody. It's also worth saying that I didn't initially have this organised setup. I feel like I love organisation, but it's not my natural forte. It takes me quite a while to get there. So I'm about 2.5 years into my business now, and I've landed on this setup which is working quite well for me. So yeah, I thought I'd take you along with me, show you the project that we are shooting, and then how I am going to use that throughout the month for my different bits and bobs. So here is a little look at the crochet project we are going to be focusing on today. Side note, if you're wondering why my face looks quite so bored, it was mainly because my face wasn't in these photographs. I promise that I would smile if my face was in it. This is the Lazy Daisy tote, and it is the design that is going out in my March subscription box. So there's a new project each month, and honestly that's probably what keeps me most accountable in both creating content and then managing to get it out there in a regular way. But if you don't have obviously a monthly product or something that you're doing on a regular basis, it's still useful, I think, just to look at it in terms of focusing on one product or the content that you might need to then promote it, and then how we're going to use it over the course of a month. Let's go back then to the start of the day and the start of the photo shoot and how we're going to get set up for it. So my photographer is getting here in about half an hour. So I'm going to set up, possibly iron this jumper I just got out of storage, and also show you the project, which is going to be the project in my, what month are we? It's going to be March's Curate Crochet Box project. When I have the 1 hour photo shoot, I really like to follow a bit of a formula, which I know sounds super boring, but we always get a handful of more flat lay shots and overhead shots, and then we will get some lifestyle shots at the end. So more like, depending on the product, it in situation or how we're going to use it. So for the flat lay shots, I use these vinyl backings, and I've been buying them over the last couple of years. So I've got a range of colours. I try and buy them in my brand colours. So you can see this sort of like a soft yellow, a soft pink, a mint, and I quite like to try a few out with the product just to see which one is giving us the best contrast, etc. These vinyl backdrops you can pick up in quite a lot of places. There's a really nice seller called Captured by Lucy who has some gorgeous ones, and the first time I bought some I also got them off Etsy. And then, I mean, like I said, I'm working with a photographer, but we don't use a studio, we just do all the photos in my house. So we tend to do the flat lays in this big lovely bay window in my living room, just because it's such a grey rainy day today, but it always gives really good light. So in my old house, I didn't have a lovely big bay, but I did have a big Velux window in my bedroom. So when I was doing the photography myself, that's where I tended to do it. The key really is natural light. So as much natural light as possible, and you don't want it to be particularly direct, depending on your photography style, but personally, we don't tend to go for direct light, so that means that we don't end up with too many shadows. I then use this really high-tech system, which is 4 coasters to hold down the vinyl backdrop. And as I said, I brought down a couple of colours just to play around with them and the product and to see which colour I liked. Sometimes you think a colour is going to work and then it ends up really sort of blending into the background. And again, if you're not at a point where you've got vinyl backdrops, I would recommend, I used to use a sheet or a duvet quite often. You just have to kind of decide if you're using fabric, whether you want it to be completely crease free or if the creases are going to be part of it. But yeah, I used to shoot so many things just on my bedspread because it was a nice neutral background. And I find one of the trickiest to shoot on is wood. I think because of the directional nature often of the grain of wood or of floorboards and things like that, it is a little bit trickier. But just experiment with a few backgrounds in your home and see what you're feeling. Now that I've decided on the colour of my background and the flat lay area is set up, I'm just going to do a little quick bit of outfit prep for the lifestyle shots because shockingly I can't afford a model, so I just model the bits if there needs to be like hands or a person in. And if you happen to watch my capsule wardrobe, you'll know these are not part of my capsule wardrobe, so they're very creased because I've got them out of storage, but I figure it's not cheating if it's for a photo shoot. Okay, so I've got my outfit options for when we do the lifestyle shots, and I also have my flat lay all set up. I'm just gonna bring in a few little props like scissors and balls of yarn, and then hopefully we're ready for my photographer Carmel coming. We only have an hour and we always do 10 images, so it is a little bit formulaic in terms of what we get, but obviously the projects are always different, so we always try and get 2 or 3 different flat lay ones. So that'll be one of just the box contents, which I always use as my project reveal, sort of sneak peek on my email. Then we have one of the box and the project as a flat lay, and then normally just one of the project as a flat lay. And in terms of the lifestyle photos, because it's a bag we're shooting today, I'm going to probably be wearing the bag, a couple of shots of that, and then maybe just like the bag hanging up on a peg or the bag on a bed or a surface with a few props around it. So keep it quite simple, but those photos I can then use on my social media throughout the month, and I'll show you later how I schedule and plan those out. I can use them on my emails, and I always do sort of 3 main emails. One is a reveal email, which is just the box contents, and then people click through and they can see the images on my blog. 2 is a kind of introducing email, so I'll put a few more of the lifestyle images in and talk a little bit more about the features. And then the 3rd one I always do is the final call email, the sort of like, this box is closing now, it's your last chance. And then I'll obviously have my blog post as well, which I just mentioned. So in the blog post, I'll feature lots of the images, and that's the kind of the most detailed breakdown of everything that's included. So let's get shooting. Okay, just sticking with this. This can just sort of happen in the background. Yeah, that looks nice, I think. Yes.
I like that.
Yeah.
It's a bit more natural.
Soft.
I mean, but then, yeah, and it's like a bulge and it makes it look quite nice and 3D.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. Okay, love it. Tick.
Yeah, I really like that. Oh, I know. Let's get you in there.
Okay.
Why don't you put on the jumpsuit?
Yes.
We get one of you crocheting on the bed.
Yes.
With the bag almost just coming into shot.
Project bag.
Oh,
Yeah. Because then I can use it as like
And then we do one of you with it, maybe against the door or something, just cash. And I really like getting the bow with the jumpsuit in. Let's try that. Then you're breathing in.
Okay, so Carmel's just gone, and I think we got some really, really beautiful photographs. Sometimes you just get this little feeling when you're doing the photos that it's going to be a good project. I think lots of people are going to really like this one. So what I've been trying to do the last couple of months is we've done our photo shoot, and I have my 10 photos, which, as I said, I'm going to use on social media and email, blah, blah, blah. I also today want to film an unboxing reel, and also the reel where I'm giving a bit more detail about the project. I like to strike while the iron is hot, because otherwise it'll just be hanging over me for the rest of the month. And this way, like, the whole day is about creating content. And if I'm really organized, I will also schedule all my posts, because I'm feeling really positive about the project right now. Nobody's seen it yet. I haven't had any customer feedback, but I find that if I write the captions and things while I'm in a good mood or while I'm feeling really positive, that does kind of translate into how I'm describing the project and how I'm talking about it. So I'm going to film my reels, but I really need to do something about this plant because he's not having a good day all week or month. I'm going to replace him with this guy. This is actually the same plant. This is like the baby of this plant. I took cuttings at different times, and here we are. I might still be able to take some cuttings from this one and propagate, but for whatever reason, he's not happy. So we're going to replace him so that I've got a nice plant in the background of my reels. So now we're entering what I like to call the zhuzhing phase. I just move all the crap out of the background, basically, so people in my reels can't see it. Quick water break, and then this is a reel I'm doing where I just do sort of different shots of the bag and the box, and then I do a little voiceover afterwards, talking about how lovely it is, in the hope that I'll entice some other people to think it's lovely too. And then finally, I'm going to do my unboxing reel. So again, this is pretty much what it says on the tin. I'm going to film myself opening the box or unboxing it. And afterwards, I'll do a voiceover where I talk about all the lovely things in the box. So my setup is this old tripod, which my father-in-law gave to me many, many moons ago. I've realised I can take the attachment off the top and put it on the bottom, and then that allows me to do my kind of top-down filming. And actually, this is the way that I record all the sort of tutorial videos and things as well that go out with the boxes, because for each project, I also record, well, several hours worth of me making the project, but it ends up being about a 45-minute to 60-minute tutorial video. It's now 1:15. I have filmed both the reels and had a little break for some food. I'm slightly annoyed that my voice is like this, because I could film I'm filming this. Maybe I will just film the voiceovers. I need to film a voiceover on both of the reels, basically. One is the unboxing, so you've just seen me filming it all, and now, because we want to get it to like a minute or a minute and a half, I'm obviously going to speed up some bits, and then do the voiceover. And the one where it's me like wearing the bag and showing the bag, I'll do the same, I'll voice it over. But I just feel like this voice is not the one, but also really like the idea of getting everything done in one day. So I'm gonna now download all of the videos and images that I've taken on here, and I think Carmel is hopefully going to send me the pictures today, which is pretty amazing. She said she had some time this afternoon. She's going to do a bit of editing. So I think I'll do all the kind of computery bits now, uploading everything. I have a few things to resize. I'm going to write my blog post, and yeah, we'll see where we get to. When it comes to editing the reels, I use iMovie, which is free software that came on my Mac. None too fancy, but I actually just sort of learnt to use this when I used to do my more regular YouTube chatty videos about crochet. And when it comes to editing photos, I also just use a free resource. I use actually just the editing tools within the photo library app, which I find to be really good. And then obviously the ones that Carmel does, she'll give a bit of an edit. Carmel sent me the pictures. Okay, I'm gonna download them. So I know it's on my computer screen. If you want a nicer look, you can obviously head to the blog post that I used them in and see them. But here is how some of the images turned out. I really love getting these images. And actually I think there's something really nice about how I've limited myself to kind of 10 images each month to promote this product and to kind of showcase it really nicely, because we don't have to reinvent the wheel every time, right? It doesn't have to be tons and tons and tons, because actually when I used to photograph it myself, I would end up with lots more images, and then it just kind of makes it harder when you're then choosing which ones to go on the blog post. So we narrow it down to 10, and then those are the ones that I use throughout the month in social media, blog posts and emails. I also really love working with Carmel. Obviously I know it's not something that is available to everybody to work with a photographer, but since I left my more corporate job, it was a very creative corporate job, but since I went self-employed, it's actually the thing I miss most is working with other creatives and working on a collaborative team, which surprised me slightly because I am quite an introvert. I do like my own company, but I love this photo shoot that we do each month, and yeah, it just makes me feel sort of connected to other creatives as well. Okay, I'm really losing the light a little bit now, but I thought I would just show you how the blog post is looking. So this is what it looks like for me in the back end of my Shopify. But if we go to, okay, I'm going to save it fast. It's still hidden at the moment because it's only the 8th of February and I need to wait until the 20th of February to reveal it. But if we go to preview, we should be able to see what it's going to look like on the blog for everybody. So I'm calling it the Lazy Daisy Tote. Look at the beautiful images. I'm just so happy with how they came out. I think it's photographed really nicely, which is all thanks to Carmel, my photographer. And I actually, oh look, you can get £5 off with the code. It doesn't tell you the code. I'll tell you the code. Code is firstbox5. I'll pop it in the thing below if you want to. FYI, I did iron this last night. I'm not sure if it definitely helped a little, but it just sort of like set in the wrinkles. So yeah, here we are, me crocheting. And then I just threw loads of pictures at it because I got really excited. I love how this one turned out with the real sort of like depth of field, whatever we're calling it. So yeah, and then we got some nice little reviews down the bottom that people can read. Cheeky little blog post. I've also uploaded all of these images now to my ad team so that they can use them, start putting together some ads, and then I'll send them this copy that I've just written in the blog post, so they know that everything that is included, etc, because obviously it does change month to month. I'm filming this a few weeks later now. Just wanted to reassure anyone who was worried about the plant that actually all these cuttings I took have got little root growth now going on. It's a super easy plant to propagate. And also, look how chipper he looks now after his extreme haircut. So all hope is not lost for my lovely plant babies. I am going to round up the video here. The only thing I didn't show you was how I schedule all my social media posts. I have recently started using Later, and not sponsored, not affiliated, never spoken to the company in my life. It's just what I use. I know there are free tools available, and actually Meta itself, you can schedule Facebook and Instagram. but I just quite like it as a visual tool. You can see all of the posts planned out, and again, keeps me a little bit accountable. I haven't yet managed to schedule all my posts for the month on the same day. The little routine that I've fallen into now is I'll hop on a Monday morning and pop in the post for the week. So I normally do 3 posts. So I hope you enjoyed the little behind the scenes and seeing how I use those photos then across my blog posts and my emails and my social media. It's now the 1st of March, so to date I've sent 2 of my 3 regular emails. The only one I have yet to send is the final call email, where I basically let people know there's only 24 hours left. So the box that you've seen me taking all the photos for, which is the March box, that will close on the 5th of the month, and so that email is still to go out. But as I said, it's not a particularly elaborate system, but having a monthly product does really help me have that kind of cycle and also the motivation, because if I don't do it, then I got nothing. My business model completely collapses in on itself. So it's taken me, as I said, 2.5 years, but I'm really finding, I mean, if you're an organised person watching this, just don't judge me. I know this isn't rocket science, but it's just something, the way I do it, and it's working for me now. So even if you're not in a position where you're running a small creative business, I hope it was interesting to see behind the scenes. And yeah, thank you for joining me and my now much happier plants. And I hope to speak to you all soon. Bye bye.